What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about how banking in Canada is different. So, here in the United States, we have our way of doing things that we consider to be normal, and everyone else is weird. That's how we look at things. So, today, I want to take a look at this list of 10 ways that banking is actually very different in Canada. So let's take a look. Starting with number one, the domination of the Big Five. What are the Big Five? Sounds like something to do with sports or something. The Big Five, what? Market oligopoly? Oligopoly? I mean, it's been a while since social studies class. That's like when a small number, it's not a monopoly, like one business controls the entire sector, but it's like a small number of very large businesses control the whole thing. So it says, unlike the highly fragmented United States market, Canada's system is dominated by five massive institutions holding the vast majority of assets. Oh, Canada has a banking oligopoly. Like, is oh, that's the big five. Five big banks in Canada. Interesting. Here in the US, I mean, we have like pretty massive banks, but it's also true that there's like a million little banks here and that you can have your choice of all the little banks as well as the big ones. So in that sense, I think that's actually kind of nice to have a lot of options. So in Canada, you have the Royal Bank of Canada. Whoa, the Royal Bank of Canada. I'd go to that one. It's royal. Is there like a crown? I don't know. In the US, we don't know about royalty and all that. TD BMO Sc- Scotia. Like Nova Scotia? Scotia Bank. CIBC, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. That's enough. You guys have good names for your banks, if that's worth anything. The Royal Bank. I bank at the Royal Bank of Canada. Like that, you know your money is safe. Like they've got royal guards with swords or something. No, well, I bank at the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. I don't know. I don't know why it makes you feel aggressive, like you're like getting knighted or something, like you're gonna ride in on the cavalry. I don't. Anyway, uh, do Canadians like this? That there's like five choices, basically. Like I said, here in the U.S., there's a ton of little options. Take your pick. You can go with the big banks or the smaller ones, or the federal credit unions or the Veterans Bank or all sorts of things, really. I guess in Canada, if you like these five banks, then this is fine. This is good. It just depends on if you like them. Systemic resilience due to extreme centralization. Bank failures are incredibly rare. Oh. No major Canadian bank failed or required a bailout during the 2008 crash. Really? Because that's famous here in the US. I remember that. In the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of big American banks needed bailouts. They needed tons of money from the government to make sure they didn't like go out of business or become insolvent or so in Canada, this is arguing that because there's just the five big guys, are they like connected to the government at all? I guess they are so centralized, as in there are so few. You guys pour all of your resources into them, They are so important and perhaps too important to fail, is another way of looking at it. So they can't. Whereas here in the US, we have so many and our resources so divided between the banks, they can fail. Or I think that's what this is saying. That's an interesting point of view because typically when you hear like monopoly, oligopoly, it's not necessarily like a good thing, but perhaps this is a good thing. Number two, Interac e-transfer. What does that mean? is that supposed to mean something? Native platform integration. Okay, sounds very techy. Venmo and Cash App are non-existent in Canada. Really? No Venmo? No Cash App? How do you send money to like your grandma if you or she sends it to you if you paint her fence or whatever? You know? Like small little transactions between normal people, you know? That's kind of the point of Venmo. Or if your friend pays for dinner and you got to pay them back and you got to send them money, it's like that's what you do. You don't have that in Canada. So the entire population uses Interac e-transfer. What is this term? Which is integrated directly into all bank accounts? Effortless transactions. Users can send immediate, secure transfers with only an email address or a phone number. Wait, what? Auto deposit? Funds are directly deposited into the recipient's bank account within seconds into their What? Without requiring security questions or third-party apps. What? Why don't we have this? Wait, you can do that? Interac e-transfer. Why don't we do this? I'm serious. What are we doing? This makes us seem like cavemen. What are we doing? We're using like these third-party apps developed by who knows who, probably taking a fee. Like you gotta like sign up. Canada just has all that, but it's built into the bank accounts. Like you like go online to your like bank account online or something, and you just type in their email address. That sounds so weird. Type in their email address, and the money goes directly from your bank account to their bank account. That sounds so much more reasonable and so much more like the correct way to do it. I'm not even kidding. Whereas we're like sending Venmos between like the app on my hook up my bank account to the app on my phone, send it to your app, and you'd have to probably withdraw it and send it to your bank. It's so convoluted. Honestly, this makes us seem insane. It's just one of those things where like if you're an American, you don't even really think about that this is weird. What? Interac e-transfer. I got to remember that. Wow. Okay. Is banking just better in Canada? So far, this is like pretty good. Number three, checking account. And checking is spelled funny. Checking account realities. Monthly account fees, standard Canadian checking accounts. Note the spelling. Yeah, the spelling is throwing me off. Q, huh? Getting a little cheeky, throwing the Q in there. That's okay. Regularly charge a monthly fee of $4 to $30 just having a checking account. They're charging you money. Never. Okay, never mind. This is a disaster. The Canadian banking system has to go. um you're not typically charged a fee though in the US in a lot of banks. I think maybe it goes back to that oligopoly. Like in the US, there are so many banks to choose from. There's so much competition. I don't think they can really afford to charge you money for holding your checking account, or else you just go somewhere else. So they're charging you $4 to $30 just to have a checking account. This is waived if you maintain a high balance of 3 to 6 thousand. Who has $3 to 6 thousand? Okay, but there's a way to not have to pay. Or choose online only boutique banks. Okay. Sounds like a scam. Transaction restrictions. Unlike the standard unlimited model in the US, entry level Canadian accounts cap the number of free transactions. What? So per year, per month, you have a limited number of like ATM withdrawals and debits and what? Is this true? That doesn't seem reasonable. That's if you have an it says a entry level Canadian account. I don't know what entry level means. I don't know how many people this is affecting. But this number three here is the first time I'm perking up and being like, I don't know about this. $4 capped amount of times you can withdraw money to go gambling. Four is pioneers of tap and pay. Oh, is that pioneers in what way? Decade of tapping. Canada has adopted the chip and pin and the tap and pay technology years before it became common in the US. That makes so much sense to me because it took forever to get like a debit card or credit card that you take it and you just tap it. I do it a little aggressively because man, it took so long to get this. You just smack the machine with it, and hopefully it works. But it took a long time for us to adopt the wireless tapping chip stuff. I remember that. Canada, you've been doing that for like 10 years already. So you're ahead of us with that, clearly. Nowadays we've pretty much gotten there, I think. $250 limits, contactless transactions usually have limits to 250. Okay. Cashless norm, physical cash rarely carried. Credit card signatures are treated as ancient history. What? You guys you don't use physical cash. But I thought you had those fun coins. The toonie and loony. I really wanted to believe you're carrying like a pirate, like a pouch of those with a money sign on it, or like a bank robber, like carrying that around, paying for things. This is shattering my whole fantasy of that. A lot of Americans still use cash. I don't really. I mean, I carry some, but in Canada, this leads me to believe you guys are really not using the Canadian cash. Which, I mean, as time goes on, that should just becoming more and more normal everywhere. But sounds like Canada is just like ahead of us in a few of these technology things with payments. Yeah, with the e-transfer thing too. Number five, Visa versus MasterCard split. Network segregation. In Canada, retail credit partnerships feature strict exclusive network boundaries that often surprise international travelers. The Costco conundrum. What is this? While Costco US is a exclusive Visa partner, Costco Canada is exclusive MasterCard partner. US issued Costco Visa cards will be rejected. This is so specific. Okay, if you're an American Costco member in Canada getting your bulk chocolate chip cookies, make sure you pay with Visa, not MasterCard. Got it. No ATM network chaos? 100% coast to coast coverage. Canadian banks operate a truly unified national branches because you have the five major banks, so it's like very well covered all over the country. That's a good reason to have that centralized system where it's like, what was it called? Scotia Bank. There's if those are everywhere, just that bank everywhere, then it's probably very well covered with ATMs and physical, businesses you can go in. Whereas in the US, if you're part of like a local bank, and you're traveling out of the state or something, you're not going to find a bank like your bank somewhere else in the country, really. So, which is could be annoying. Um, you'll never encounter the vast regional ATM dead zones common in US regional banks. Like if they don't have your ATM for your bank. Like if you're somewhere in the US away from your home, they might not have your ATM. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Through off network, though off network ATM users can incur a $2 to $3 network fee. If you want to use an ATM that's not your bank, you can for a fee, but it's usually extremely easy to find like one of those 5 major bank ATMs. That's cool. That's convenient. Now, that's a good perk of that, I acknowledge. Shorter mortgage locks. Okay. Term versus amortization. While Canadian home loans are amort, amortized, amortized? This has to. Anyway, the mortgage, how long you're locking in the rate on your mortgage. Canadian home loans are locked in. No, no, the home loan is amortized over 25 to 30 years. The interest rate is only locked in for 1 to 5 years. So you're in this contract to purchase your home, pay it off for 30 years. But your interest rate is subject to it's not locked in. So it can change? I don't know if I like that. Here in the US, you basically have a choice. You get a fixed interest rate for the whole 30 years, or you can get a variable interest rate, which changes depending on the market conditions, which, if you know what you're doing, can be great or it can be horrible. In Canada, you don't have a choice. Your interest rate on your home loan is gonna change every 1 to 5 years. Really? That's kind of scary to me. There are no lifetime 30-year fixed mortgages. Wow. I didn't know that kind of thing was different. Periodic rate reset. Once your term, typically 5 years, expires, you must renegotiate and renew your entire mortgage balance at the current market rates. Everyone in Canada, is this true? Every homeowner has changing mortgage interest rates. No kidding. That would be very stressful to me to know that that's like coming up every. I mean, it could be good if rates have gone down, but it could be bad. Hmm. Number 8, unique investment vehicles. TFSA, tax-free savings, allows contributions of after-tax income, all compounding interest, dividend growth, capital gains, withdrawals, 100% tax-free. This is like a retirement thing account or an investment account in Canada, I guess. We have stuff like that. RRSP, it's like a IRA in the US. Contributions are fully tax deductible to reduce your current income tax base, deferring tax. Okay. So you guys have retirement and savings accounts. We have similar things like this in the US, to be fair. But that's interesting how even that is different. Non-portable credit score. Where are you porting it? Strict privacy firewalls. Despite Equifax and TransUnion operating in both countries, strict cross-border privacy laws prevent Canadian banks from directly viewing or pulling your US credit record. So there's a couple things here if you're an American in Canada. They can't look at your credit score, which is annoying for a certain amount of people, I'm sure. Starting from scratch, expatriates, newcomers to Canada must establish their credit rating anew, beginning with a secured deposit credit cards to build a history. What? If you move to Canada, I don't think a lot of Americans know that. Even the ones who are excited about the possibility of moving to Canada. You have to start a new credit score, which some people spend their whole life building that up. That's actually a huge deal. That's probably completely screwed over a lot of people, actually. Is it true if you're Canadian and you come here, your credit score goes away? Oh, 10 colorful plastic cash. So number 10 here is about the physical money again, which I'm told you guys don't use as much anymore. It's a polymer build. Technology. Banknotes are unterrible. Is that true? Has anybody tried like to tear it with all their heart, tear this money? I mean, you kind of wouldn't want to because it's money, but American money is so easy to tear. It's kind of crazy. Smooth propylene plastic rather than cotton paper. That's a direct shout out to US money. Being very fragile. High security. Embedded holographic transparent windows. Tactile braille. Oh, braille on the money. Really? Waterproof. I've heard that before. And that I've heard it smells like maple syrup. Is that a joke or anyway? You can wash it, it won't tear or get this. So the Canadian physical money is even better, is what you're saying. So this was fascinating. Um, we got into the weeds a little bit, but I kind of like that. I couldn't have imagined that banking, something so fundamental to like, society, it could be so different between our two countries. I mean, in a lot of ways it's similar. In a lot of ways it's different. And in a lot of ways I like the things Canada is doing that I didn't even know was an option. So this was fascinating. I enjoyed this. Oh, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, especially if you're Canadian, with your thoughts. If you understand all this Canadian banking stuff, that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.